Hey guys, I'm April from Giggle Glitter Graphics, and today we're playing with the Gourd Grove Fall Apothecary kit. This kit has everything you need to make a single signature journal. It's a small, fast project, and I wanted to go over a couple of the items in the kit and show you how to use them. And then I'm going to go ahead, finish my journal, and do a quick little flip through at the end. So let me show you how to assemble the cover for this kit. I've printed the inside cover twice. You can see that here. Both of these are on cardstock. The front of the cover is printed on the other side of one of these, and I've cut off the white edges that you get when you print on your printer, unless you have a fancy printer that goes all the way to the edge. But here's my second copy, and I'm going to use my paper trimmer and just cut right in the lines here. So I designed this to be a very beginner-friendly journal for people who might not have done a project like this before. They're just getting into junk journaling and wanted something easy to kind of learn some techniques. So I'm just going to take my panels and I'm going to line them right up with their counterparts here on the other side. And I've designed this image so it kind of wraps around. You've got the shelves and things. It's one image and it wraps all the way around the cover, and I thought that was a lot of fun. So here I've got my pockets in, and I'm going to grab my Beacon Fabri-Tac favorite glue. Dries quickly. You don't have to use this. You can use any adhesive, any liquid adhesive. And I'm just going to glue 3 sides here, right like this. And these are going to be little inside pockets. Now the reason I've also designed this is like, why not just include some panels to attach to the inside? Well, I wanted to give you some freedom. If you want your pockets to be more shallow, you can cut them down and make like an invisible pocket. And we can do that on the other side really quickly, and I'll show you how that works. So this is going to be a deeper pocket on this side, glued right here, 1, 2, 3, those sides. This is also going to add some more thickness to our cover and make it a little more sturdy on the corners, which is a bonus as well. So let me show you the invisible pocket. So I'm just going to trim. Let's just pick an arbitrary amount here. I'll just trim some off. Make sure I'm in camera there. And right off like that. And we'll save that extra little strip. Maybe we can do something with that later. And now you can line up the picture and you have an invisible pocket. If you're getting a white edge when you have a lot of saturation like this, you can get something like Distress ink. I have, let's see, that's black. Let's go with Vintage Photo. And just put a little bit of ink right down that edge. Try not to get it on the surface, just get the white when you're trying to make an invisible tuck like this, invisible pocket. Just kind of cover up that bright, bright white. If you get up on the top surface, it's actually going to accentuate that, that edge. And you can see it's popping out a little bit there, but you get the idea that this is now an invisible pocket. You can tuck something inside of there later, and it just disappears when you're not using it. So same thing, I'm going to glue this on 3 sides. Right like that. And carefully, without getting glue all over myself, put that down. So now we've got 2 inside pockets on the cover, and we've got a sturdier cover. I will link to the papers and cardstocks I'm using in the description down below, along with anything else, glues, that kind of thing. So if you're just starting out and you're not sure what supplies to get, you can hit that up and see what I use. So now we have our cover and we have an extra piece. You can do whatever you want with this. You can turn it into tags. If you wanted to flip-flop this and put this down in the middle as your pocket instead and save those side pieces for something else, you could do that and get the same effect. I thought this would be too much bulk in the middle, so that's why I went ahead with the sides. And again, reinforced corners. So I've got the rest of my pages from the kit here. This is a smaller kit. That was intentional. So this is a faster project, and I'm going to show you how I've printed them front and back. I've also trimmed the white off of all the edges already. There are 10 papers in this kit. All right, so I have my 5 pages, I believe, all here, and I'm just going to fold these all in half. At this point, you could ink all the edges on these with something like Vintage Photo Distress ink, and I will probably go ahead and do that for this kit. It's a very autumnal kit. I think that that burnt kind of brown edge will look very nice on this, but I'm not going to make you sit through that. So I'm just going to fold these all in half and ink the edges, and then we'll start assembling our signature. All right, so I've got my pages inked up. Everything is folded in half. I have inked up the edges on my cover as well. And let me just give you a quick flip through to show you how my page layout looks. You can kind of see. Now at this point, you can add in other things. If you want to add in paper doilies or coffee dyed paper or something like that, that can be added in here. In fact, let me grab, I've got some coffee dyed paper right here. This is a piece, and I have roughly, I've folded that in half. Let's add some layers to the journal. So I'm just going to tear this roughly on the fold. And I'll save this tear off because we might be able to use it later. It'll make a nice decorative element underneath something else. It should open up there. It's all folded over. Tear that. Let's give it a little distress ink. Just to pop that edge. I like that nice rough edge. Same thing on this one. And you can always ink some of these edges later on after you've bound your book together. Nothing says you have to do it right away or at all. Now I'm going to fold these in half again. And let's just find a couple places in the journal to add these in. And this is just going to add a little texture and interest. So I like how that looks. I think this is a good spot for one. So let's do that. And I think this is a good spot for the other one. And I'm going to flip this one so it's the other way around. And now I'm second guessing this because they're too close together. So I'm going to put this one here. There, I like that better anyway against that darker background. So now we have kind of an every other one situation. It gives us somewhere to jot some notes or decorate. There we go. Now we're ready to bind this together. So there's several ways that you can bind your journal. You can just wrap a ribbon around the inside and tie it in a knot and hold it together that way. You could use a stapler. If you have a long enough stapler, you can kind of come in and staple that. You can punch holes and run your ribbon through that. I am going to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch on this, and I'm just going to go through it very, very quickly. I'm going to clip my pages together so that they don't move around. I'm going to punch holes through them with an awl that came with my bookbinding kit. And then I'm going to use a red thread, wax thread that also came with my bookbinding kit, and sew those together really quickly. You go through the middle, then you go through the top, then you go through the bottom, and then you go back through the middle. And I'm just going to show that to you all sped up here so that you can get an idea. When you tie your journal, you want to make sure that your strings are on either side of that main thread. If you want the bow on the outside, you're going to start your needle on the outside. If you want your bow on the inside, start your needle on the inside. And there we go. So at this point, I want to go through some of the other items in the kit for you beginners out there. So I have this little flyer about an event at our apothecary, the Harvest Alchemy Festival. And I've just printed this out and cut off all the edges, and I'm going to fold it in half. So there we've got our flyer. You could print something on the back side of this so that you could cut it apart or make it into some kind of a folder. But I'm going to glue mine together with my glue stick, which is Aha. So I'm using an Uhu glue stick. This is just my favorite glue stick. You can use any glue stick you want. And I'm just going to glue these together. And there are several pieces in this kit that you can do this with. Other items in this kit that work this way are the cabinet exploration tags. And you can see those right here. So they would fold in half and glue to themselves so that you have a printed front and back. However, if you want to turn these into little notebooks or print something on the other side so that they open up and there's something inside of there, you can totally do that. I think the last item I'm going to go over in this kit are the little seed packet envelopes. There are a couple styles. There's these with a flap. You're just going to fold over these little tabs right here where you can see where the decorative print ends and a solid print begins. Just like that. Put some glue on these two surfaces and then fold this over to make your little envelope. And then fold the top down to make a flap. And again, distress ink around the edges really makes all of this pop. The same thing goes for these, and these cards also come with an insert that sticks up over the top like so whenever you tuck it down inside of the completed card. Now I'm ready to start working on the decorating portion of this journal. I'm going to work systematically today. So I've got all of my pockets here, and I'm just going to work my way through the journal and put my pockets in. You can always work page by page, but because it's such a small journal, I'm really feeling good about just kind of going through and placing pockets here and there wherever I want them until I've used them all up. I'm going to repeat that using a couple of these longer bands from the kit. You can use these as tucks like I have here. I've glued it on 3 sides. You can use it as a belly band where you run it down the middle, either this way or maybe tear some off and use it this way. Or you can use it as a spine. If you decide to make a thicker journal, this is optional. It can go on the outside of your cover to use as a spine. Next, I'm going to go through and just start tucking things into the pockets. And I do this again very systematically today, not every day, but like I'll get these bottles. There's 4 of them and I don't want them all together. So I might tuck one into this pocket and then flip a few pages and tuck one into another pocket, and then just repeat that for all the items in the kit that are larger. So like the tag elements or bookmarks. So reaching across here, just going through and adding these to the pages in a way that spreads out the different items throughout the journal. One of the things I wanted to talk about in this video as well is this kind of shelving page. Now I've tried to size a lot of these fussy cuts so that you could actually kind of fill the shop shelves with fussy cuts, and I'm just really enjoying this. So there's a lot of different cutouts to choose from. And it just brings me so much joy. That some of them might be a little tall, some of them are shorter. There's a bunch of different sizes here, but I don't mind that too much. I like kind of the playfulness of it. And how tightly you cut out your fussy cuts might affect how well they fit on the shelves. I've cut mine out using my Cricut machine, so it kind of did the cutting for me. Get some of these crystals. Just love the idea of filling the shelves up in our apothecary and just being playful with it. Maybe adding a couple of signs like this. Just have fun with it. Do some collage work. All kinds of little tins and things. These ones fit in here. I've got, anyway, it's endless. You can just kind of play with this forever. There's some smaller labels. You can even put some of these smaller labels onto your jars like this. You can use some of the larger labels. Where are they? As actual little holders. Glue these down on both sides so that you can slide your jars in and out. Again, use your imagination. Go through, start layering up bits of paper or bits of fabric or just whatever you have on hand with some of your cutouts, and really just have fun with it. This is where I'm going to stop this video for now. I just wanted to give you some ideas on how to get a start on decorating your own journal using the Gourd Grove Fall Apothecary set. There is going to be more Gourd Grove kits coming up. I've got plans for a library and a school and then the town itself. And I'll be using each of these kits as its own signature in a larger journal, but each kit can be used on its own to make a single signature journal. That's the plan. So if you like a smaller project, then any of these kits would be for you. I may make a page decorating video for this journal. I'm going to sit and finish mine up. I'm going to pull some fabrics out, 2 or 3 fabrics, and start just having a good time with this. So I'll try to film that, do a page decorating video, share that with you in the coming week. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.